So, hello and welcome to the Mighty 90s movie and TV podcast. I'm Simon, and tonight I'm honored to be joined by a special guest. You may know her as figure skating Mighty Duck legend Tammy Duncan, or you may know her by her real name, Jane Plank. Jane, thank you so much for joining me, and how are you?
I am doing great. Thanks so much for finding me online and reaching out and letting me be a part of this.
This is my absolute honor. As I was just saying before we started, I grew up and still do, love the Mighty Ducks movies, and you're a massive part of that. So thank you. But to take it, all the way back, I mean, can you tell me a bit about how you got into, acting in the first place? Was it through, doing like school plays or commercials, or how did it sort of manifest?
Yeah, so grew up in Minnesota, still have that accent. Um, but my mom was an actress growing up. And then my twin sister, one time, it was like sixth grade, basically said, "Hey, Mom, I'd love to start acting as well." So, of course, they always ask twins for, traveling purposes and that sort of thing. Your sister wants to, would you like to as well? And so we had to get some headshots. So it's like, okay, let's go to get a nice headshot. And then my first audition was the open call audition in the Mighty Ducks. So then I was in seventh grade. We did have an agent that we said, yes, we'll have you represent us, because they were representing my other family, family members. And it was a crazy experience. Just even the interviewing side of it, or auditioning side, they treated it like American Idol of 1992. So long lines, and they said, okay, from here it's going to be 3 hours.
Wow.
And my dad just turned to my sister and me and said, "Do we want to do this?" My mom had found a newspaper in the ad. Oh, look, she said, "Jane, this sounds exactly like you." It was a 12-year-old athletic tomboy that could figure skate. So I was able to skate. They didn't actually have me do a skating audition because I'm like, well, they're like, "Can you skate?" I'm like, "I'm from Minnesota. Yes, I can." and then hopped on board. Yeah.
Well, that's kind of like an infamous story with a lot of your castmates, was that they said that they could skate and they said they could play ice hockey, and a lot of them, said they couldn't and had to learn it in like the training camp. So
Yep.
you could skate already. Had you played ice hockey before as well?
No, so women and like any teams or anything like that, that would have been more of a figure skating thing. My dad was a hockey player in high school from northern Minnesota, so he got us on the ponds and the where they would just flood the rinks for you at any old park. We'd be able to do that as well. So yeah, we went from there. I didn't have to audition. I wasn't a figure skater, but I could definitely skate and skate pretty well. So.
Wow, amazing. And so you get the role. I mean, at what point did you think that this was going to be big, or did you realize that this was going to be something that is, I mean, it's an international success that, I mean, it's synonymous. People know it, around the world. I mean, at what point did you realize that you were part of something that special?
It was interesting. So they had you know, Stephen Herrick was the director, and he had done Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. I was like, as a kid, I was like, "Ooh, that's awesome!" I was really excited about that. They had a different name originally. It was supposed to be Bombay,
Mhm.
instead of Mighty Ducks, and we were all kind of like, it didn't really settle. Even as we were filming, it was like, well, maybe. And then they did say, if this goes well, we have intentions to do a series, or I mean to have a trilogy, at least 2 to 3 is kind of what they were thinking. And so I knew, with Disney's name behind it, and then with a really good story, that after I read the script, I'm like, this is just classic. This is awesome. If we can do this the right way, which it seems like they are, this is going to be really, really fun. So it started with me being excited there. As it continued to just go, and then I'd watch Entertainment Tonight and see kind of the rankings, of how it did that last weekend. I mean, there was a lot of fun seeing that. And I think once I started to see the weekly rankings is when, as a 12-year-old, I got what that meant.
Yeah, that's so cool. I mean, do you remember what it was like the first time you saw it in a movie theater to like see yourself on the big screen?
Yeah, it was the premiere. So got to go to LA and flew out with my family, and we stayed at the Ritz, and kind of all those fun pieces of it. And ended up getting there. I remember I was kind of waiting, kind of turning around in the theater to see additional castmates and friends, and they actually, Roseanne Barr was a part of that premiere. So
Okay.
I was turning, kind of waiting for the other friends, and she gave me a little wave, and I literally looked back because I mean he doesn't know me, and then I looked back. She goes, "No, you," and I was like, "Oh, hi." So yeah, it was really fun. They have a lot of those cast members there, and that whole experience of the premiere was really exciting.
So cool. Yeah. I mean, and did you get to keep anything like mementos from filming? Did you keep like your jersey or anything like that?
Yes, so they did give me the jersey. So I have that. I've given talks to different schools or groups, and try to kind of tailor it to encourage them in some way, or tell a little bit about how that was, or some of the teachings that I got from it. So I will actually wear it. So as a woman slightly older than 12, it fits me now without all of the shoulder pads and everything like that. So if I ever go to signings, I end up trying to wear the jersey too. So
Yeah, that's amazing. That's so cool. That's so cool. And they're really like high quality, the ones that they made, right? So like
yeah, the
it's
stitching and all of it. Absolutely. There weren't a lot of, I was never a thief or anybody that got into taking things that weren't mine, especially on a set. This was my first movie set. So I was like, I wasn't the one like, well, hey, I'll just grab this because I'm here. They did let us have some of the from um, the championship game. They had some of those scarves, and so I did get one of those. They actually gave us, the cast, our own version of those scarves. So that was,
oh, that's
that was
cool.
kind of fun, and yeah.
It's so cool. And particularly the first Mighty Ducks that you're in, it's classic. Like it actually feels in a tone with almost like John Hughes type movies of that sort of era, where it's like the other movies are also great and I love them, but they go into a bit more like slapstick. They can be a bit more goofy. Where the first one is a genuinely like classic movie that you're part of. So I mean, it's so cool. I mean, I mean, I have to ask because they've brought the TV show in now, and I know that they didn't have as many of the original cast in it because of COVID and the restrictions that
Yes.
came with that. But I
Yep.
mean, if in the future there was an opportunity to reprise your role as Tammy Duncan, is that something that you'd be interested in, or something that you're not into acting as much anymore?
Yeah, no, I would love to do that. That would be fun. And I would be open to it. I think a lot of life and the opportunities I've had are just the different twists and turns. And if it's, oh, yep, I'm not doing that as a full-time job right now. I'm in sales, but that's a lot of listening and having your, really what you're selling and all your stats and that sort of thing, your lines, and responding to how they're responding, all of that. So of course, I would enjoy that. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, well, that would be awesome. I would love to see that happen. Uh, I have to ask as well. You were also in Jingle All the Way, right? And they
Yes.
filmed that in Minnesota as well. Is that right?
Yeah, that was a pretty fun story. We had a good vocal madrigal group in high school. So I went to Hopkins, and they are Mr. Nordley, our choir teacher. He said, I found out there's going to be an audition. Let's practice a couple times, and then they'll want us to sing two of our Christmas songs and see if we can make it or whatever. So that's how I ended up getting in Jingle All the Way. We went to an audition as a group, and so that was my madrigal high school group.
Oh, amazing. That's awesome. I really love that movie as like a Christmas movie. It's perfect. I mean, did you get to meet Arnold?
Yes, yes. So a couple of things. He smoked some more cigars back in that day. I don't know his consumption now, but got to meet him. I got to meet Rita Wilson. I got my hair done next to her.
Wow.
And then the other fun highlight at that age was just the fake snow. Because, I mean, you see it in movies, but I was like, oh my gosh, here it is. It's arrived. So that was really fun.
That's amazing. And then you continued with music, and is there something that's still part of your life, right?
Yeah, it's been a change. So I did a lot of music up in Minnesota. I moved down to Arizona about 2.5 years ago. So then COVID. And so I got married, then COVID, and it just kind of shut things down. So do I think that there's going to be another season for that? For sure. I don't have the network here right now to be doing that on weekends. And, they are doing some live music here, but it's just been a different deal. So.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I listened to some of it online earlier. I particularly enjoyed the Fong song rendition. It was great.
That's just when I'm trying to be emotional,
No, we all need that. We all need that in our lives. I love it. And then you were just saying before we were recording that you've written a book, a children's book.
Yes. Yep. So my wife and I ended up writing a children's book. It's called These Are My Pants.
Okay. I love it already. I'm sold already. Continue.
so can I tell you like how this came about?
Please. I'd love to hear it. Yeah.
Okay. So when my now wife and I lived together, we combined our laundry and we worked together where we both had to wear dark jeans a lot. So, a little less formal, but we had a lot of dark jeans, all the same size. And so after laundry, I'd say, are these my pants? She's like, no, these are my pants. No, these are my pants. And it was just an ongoing thing. Started to chat with our nephews and niece, and we'd say it to them, and they're like, and they would say it back to us and laugh. And I said, this sounds like a children's book. So when COVID started, I'm like, let's write this book. And it ended up kind of taking its own turn. And we're like, what is the point of this? Sam the squirrel has a bunch of different pants, but he found somebody else in need and ends up giving. So it really is a message about giving. And
I
it'll
love
be
it.
one of a couple of probably two or three more books in the series.
It's amazing. So is this available to buy somewhere?
Yes, we have a website, plankbooks.com, and we will be on Amazon pretty soon here. We're just doing their final sizing.
Oh, amazing. Okay, well, I'll put links below to that website. It's amazing. My wife and I we have a baby. He's like 8 months old. So
oh my gosh, congrats.
Thank you. I'm ordering. As soon as we're done here, I'm ordering. I need it.
Perfect.
That's really cool. So a series, you reckon it's going to be, a trilogy or continue?
Yep, we're thinking similar to a Mighty Ducks kind of a thing, only a children's book. But we might be doing a different character and having Sam the squirrel kind of pop in at different times. So we're still working through that.
Oh, I love it. Well, yeah. Well, I look forward to catching up through the series. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, this has been an absolute pleasure. I really appreciate your time. And again, the Mighty Ducks, it's such a classic. I loved your performance. I loved your character in it as well. I mean, you get one of the most epic goals of the whole trilogy, which is amazing. I always appreciated that you had like the all white skates. It's easier to spot you on the ice.
Exactly.
And it's great to hear that you have positive memories of it, because that always helps to reinforce the enjoyment of it, when you know that
Absolutely.
people involved had a good experience with it. So
absolutely, it was just a blast. I always get a fun smile on my face when I think about it, and when you talk to anybody who knows the Mighty Ducks, they get that same little grin from childhood. It's really fun to see.
Yeah, for sure. Well, amazing. And yeah, thank you so much for your time. All of the links below, so yeah, check out Jane's book and continuing books, and I'll put the links to your social media below there as well. And yeah, awesome. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Hey, thank you so much. Have a great one.
Thank you.